I'm not here to claim I have secret access or insider confirmation. What I do have is pattern recognition, production history, and the ability to tell when a rumor is lining up a little too perfectly with what's airing on screen. And in this case, yeah. The spoilers were real, folks. If you want to know the final couples for Singles Inferno 5, then you're in the right place. I have a lot to say about how things unfolded in episodes 8 to 10, I'll make sure to touch on them briefly in this video, but I'll try to keep it short and cute, hahaha. Hi everyone, it's Funnel Pop. If you enjoy deep dive analysis and drama-free speculation, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. People love to clown Chinese netizen spoilers, but let's be honest, when it comes to Korean dating shows, they're scary accurate. The rumor that circulated earlier, the one many of us dismissed as impossible, has now lined up with so many on-screen details that it's hard to pretend it was random. For anyone who missed it, the Chinese netizen claimed the full season had already been seen by them because their family works with Netflix. At the time, most of us rolled our eyes. But now, watching how things actually unfolded, it's clear this wasn't just vague guessing. Specific actions, unexpected situations, even game outcomes were predicted correctly. Take Minji, for example. The spoiler said she would choose Soo-bin for Paradise because she was upset that Sung-il went with Minisu. It even mentioned that she wanted to test her feelings for Sung-il by being with someone else. That's exactly how it played out. Her words, her reasoning, the game they won, all of it matched. The spoiler also warned that the double date would get messy, specifically involving Minisu and Soo-bin, even though they were paired with Sung-il and Heesun. And honestly, that's where everything started to spiral. The infamous bed scene ended up being Minji and Soo-bin, but production absolutely played us with the editing. In reality, Soo-bin was drunk, passed out on the same bed, and that was it. A massive scandal with zero payoff. Singles Inferno editors, please accept your gold medals. You all deserve it. Like, guys, I'm not even kidding, I had to do a side-by-side comparison of the actual Minji and Soo-bin bed scene with the trailers because I kept wondering, is there more? What about the sound bite of the person complaining about the cameras, and Seung Han saying fork it? Are we about to get something actually spicy later on from another couple? Especially with Lee Ji-yeon and Goun, because the way those two were devouring each other with their eyes in episode 10 was insane. And honestly, a lot of couples this season have insane chemistry. Take Jae-jin and Joo-young, for example. That bathroom scene. The way Jae-jin looks at her, OMG. That man is sexy as hell. Yeah, he knows the assignment. Which is why there's no surprises here, they were said to be an endgame couple. Then there's Soo-bin, who somehow managed to have strong chemistry with all three women he went to Paradise with. You could ship him with any of them and it would still make sense. That said, I ain't gonna lie. The romantic tension between Soo-bin and Heesun was on a completely different level. Those two looked like they were seconds away from devouring each other. Meanwhile, Minji staying so locked onto one person ended up hurting her in the long run. I genuinely think if she'd explored Soo-bin earlier, the outcome could have been very different. That hesitation feels like her biggest regret now, and you can feel it in every interaction. Now let's talk about Seung Han, because this is where things get interesting. The spoiler mentioned that Minisu's interest in Seung Han would grow, and that part was true. What didn't happen was them going to Paradise together, which honestly might have worked in her favor. If they had gone, Seung Han probably could have been put off by her fixation on Soo-bin during the double date. Instead, she took time to observe, reset, and eventually choose Seung Han without hesitation. And what I find important is this, Minisu didn't start liking Seung Han because of his background. Despite what some rumors implied, she took him seriously before knowing anything about his resume. She liked him because he liked her. That's what makes their story so compelling, and why that ending actually feels earned. Which is exactly why them being one of the endgame couples is actually the biggest surprise of the season. Honestly, I'd be so happy if this turns out to be true. Seung Han clearly cares about her, and I really hope they make it work in the real world. Please, just let this one happen. As for Seung Han himself, yes, the rumors around his profile are intense, but let's keep this grounded. According to circulating information, he studied computer science at University of California, Berkeley, one of the top engineering schools in the US, and later worked as a software engineer. He's currently said to be working as a quantitative trader in high-frequency trading, which is an extremely competitive field that requires serious math skills, algorithmic thinking, and financial expertise. There are also rumors about his income, with estimates ranging widely, between minimum salary being around $200,000 per year. However, some have even suggested he might make as much as $1 million per year. There are also unconfirmed rumors about his family background, including speculation that he may be the maternal grandson of former South Korean President Lee Myung-bak. And that Seung Hoon's father is reportedly an executive director in the overseas legal affairs team at Samsung Electronics. These remain rumors, nothing officially verified, but they've fueled even more curiosity around him. On the show, he wasn't very popular at all, but since the season began, he's gained massive attention with the audience, both for the right and wrong reasons, including a cheating scandal involving his ex, which he has since debunked as lies from clout chasers and even threatened to sue. Either way, background aside, Seung Han already fits the profile of someone who doesn't usually end up on a dating show, which is exactly why his presence and his final choice stand out so much. For Heesun's final trip to paradise, she chose Seung Han, and to everyone in my comments who clocked that early, kudos, you all ate. They connected well in paradise, and it makes sense if they eventually choose each other. Heesun is also an elite, studying and working at Carnegie Mellon, and if that pairing had gone anywhere, they'd only be a few hours apart by location. On paper, it works. But will Heesun consider a future with Seung Han? Well, nope, the end game is Heesun and Soobin. Despite the tears in the trailer, which I personally think came from finding out about Minji and the bed situation, or just another editing trick, those two do end up together according to the spoiler. Whether they continue after the show though, I honestly can't wait to find out. Minji became really confusing after she switched things up and chose Soobin for Paradise. And honestly, I don't think she chose him only to give Seung-il a taste of his own medicine. I also think there was a bit of spite toward Minisu involved. After talking with Minisu, she didn't get the sense that Minisu had no romantic interest in Seung-il. She also felt her main interest was still in Soobin, so she changed things up and chose Soobin out of revenge. And to everyone's surprise, Minji and Soobin actually connected really well. Which naturally raises the question, does this change her final decision, or does she end up leaving the island without choosing anyone at all? Based on what we know from the spoilers, her story eventually circles back to Seung-il, and that pairing is positioned as an endgame. But things got messy online when a Korean netizen shared photos of a couple holding hands in public that looked like Minji and Hyung-jae. According to her, she actually approached them and asked if it was them. They greeted her politely and then left, and she even mentioned that Hyung-jae was very handsome in person. That said, others later stepped in and claimed the sighting was debunked, saying the couple were actually actors Ryuta and Chae-min. So for now, that whole situation remains unconfirmed, and we'll just have to wait and see how everything actually unfolds. And can we all agree that Goun is the most confused out of all the ladies? Many people say it's Minisu, but the difference is that Minisu is loud with her emotions while Goun is the opposite, she's silent. That's why people struggle to read where her heart actually is. And just like Soobin, Goun has this way of making men fall for her without even trying. I mean, even I fell in love with her ha ha ha. So I fully understood why Hyun-woo became completely possessed. He fought hard to win that paradise game, and then still chose to opt out of a luxury date with someone else, only to remain in Inferno to affirm his loyalty to his crush, even though he knew his chances were the smallest out of all her options. Dang, that's wild. My guy was in too deep. As a woman, would that make your heart flutter, or would it low-key scare you seeing someone fall that deep that fast? Because honestly, I don't even know how I'd react. Now, according to the spoilers, Goun and Seungmin end up being the season's biggest twist, forming a final couple. And I won't lie, this one surprised me the most. This one surprised me the most because the tension between Goun and Lee Ji-yeon was honestly insane. It was intense. So choosing him would have felt natural. But maybe she doesn't actually want to date an actor. Actually, Lee Ji-yeon already appeared in a Netflix series called The Trunk, and he's genuinely good at what he does. But then, he asked Goun when she wanted to get married, and when she said, in 2 to 3 years, he responded that he wouldn't be rich by then. So if she's thinking about financial stability and a long-term future, Seungmin realistically makes more sense. But the irony is, Seungmin is also pursuing acting. I almost fell out of my chair when I saw his baby face pop up on my screen in one of his shows. So if Goun is trying to run away from an actor, she basically ran straight into another one. Actor for actor, hahaha. You really cannot make this stuff up. And yes, Netflix has already renewed the show for season 6, congratulations to them. All thanks to Minisu who brought the chaos this season. If she wasn't on, it would have been the same old boring stuff. The last time I enjoyed singles Inferno like this was during Gwanhee's season. But dang, production leaned so hard into misleading edits this season. The bed scene is the perfect example. We were led to believe something spicy happened, only to find out it was just a dry ass, drunken Subin, sleeping, struggling to get himself under the covers laughing my ass off. So now I want to know. Were you surprised by how accurate these spoilers turned out to be? Do you think these final couples will be accurate? And what do you think Netflix will do next season to stop leaks like this from completely taking over the narrative again? Drop your thoughts and your own finale predictions in the comments. Thanks for watching. If this video got you thinking, hit like, drop your thoughts in the comments, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.